I mean, this was your second chance. You've done this movie before. This was supposed to be better. Dark Phoenix, no X-Men required, is written and directed by Simon Kinberg. It stars James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan, Jennifer Lawrence. It's been 10 years since the events of X-Men Apocalypse, and you see the X-Men thriving in the planet. Human civilization have accepted the mutants, and while on a space mission, a supernova inhabits the body of Jean Grey. Jean Grey starts losing control of her powers and starts spiraling out of control. Meanwhile, there are certain mysterious beings that are very interested in Jean and her newfound powers. It's up to Charles Xavier and his X-Men to save Jean. This X-Men franchise is just so confusing at this point because it feels like they just don't know where to go. After the absolute disaster that is X-Men Apocalypse, you would think there's no way to go but up. And you can't help but feel sorry for this franchise for everything that it goes through. This is Simon Kinberg's first time directing. He's written quite a few scripts of these X-Men movies, and he's also written X-Men Apocalypse and Fantastic Four, the new Fantastic Four, the one that we all prefer to forget. So I don't know why they thought it would be a good idea to give this man the first time his very own script and directing. But it seemed the cast had a good enough relationship with Kinberg to come back for this film. Hurrah. And Kinberg also wrote the last time that they made a Phoenix movie, The Last Stand, directed by Brett Ratner, which is considered to be one of the worst X-Men films. Again, nowhere to go but up, right? Well, this movie was supposed to come out last November. It got delayed to March. Then it was supposed to come out in March. It got delayed to June. And then there was all this talk about how much of a train wreck the film is, that it's a complete and total disaster, that it's just a complete mess. Everyone's gonna basically hate it. Then Disney buys Fox. So you know that this is the last one. You know that they're not going to continue because now since Disney owns Fox and they own the X-Men franchise and the Fantastic Four franchise, they're probably going to be put into the MCU sooner or later, whenever they feel like it's time. Well, out of nowhere, there's a little bit of expectation in this movie, a little bit of anticipation, because not only is this going to be the last one with this franchise of X-Men of, the Hugh Jackman world with Charles Xavier, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender's Magneto. We got Ty Sheridan as Cyclops, Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. This is going to be the last one with Nicholas Hoult as Beast. They also have to live up to make sure that it's better than the last time that they did the Dark Phoenix movie, which is The Last Stand. So they got to make sure that they get the storyline right. I mean, why else would you try to revisit the story, right? You want to make it better. You want to make it epic. Is it a train wreck? The script is lousy. Terrible dialogue. Everything is exposition. Is it a disaster? I mean, there are pros to it, of course, and I have to give a lot of credit to the actors in this film. I have to give a lot of credit to the actors because no matter how lousy the script is, and I really believe that this script is one of the worst ones out of this X-Men franchise, the actors all give their A game. James McAvoy's here to play. Fassbender's here to play. Jennifer Lawrence, for the small appearance that she's in, and it's not even a spoiler, it's all over the previews and everything that she doesn't make it all the way to the end. She even gives a little bit more oomph than definitely last time. Last film, she was just basically sleepwalking. Another big highlight of this movie, surprisingly out of nowhere for me, is the score, which happens to be Hans Zimmer. When did that happen? But it definitely helped the movie out because it stood out for me. It actually left an impression on me. And very impressive. I really enjoyed that part. So the acting and the score. Everything else is pretty bad. You can obviously tell that this is a first-time director. Even in the small conversation scenes between two characters, it just feels like this is the first time Kinberg's ever done something like this. There is no real sense of pacing. The action is nothing to run home about. The special effects look at best. I give them credit for trying. This is obviously, it's a daunting task to make your first film, a huge franchise film. But it was too much too much to put on your shoulders for the first time, especially with a franchise that's just as overburdened with continuity issues like the X-Men franchise. And this one's no different. They hinted in X-Men Apocalypse that Jean Grey had the Phoenix Force, but they don't bring it up here at all. They acted like that never happened. So, and Kinberg wrote both scripts, so what the fuck gives, bruh? And they apparently had to do a reshoot of the third act. I think that they had to do a rewrite of everything. Apparently the third act was very familiar to a couple of Marvel films, obviously Captain Marvel, but even Kinberg went on record to say Civil War, so they had to really change it. And a lot of people really do like this new third act. It's basically an action sequence on a train, and it's a little fun, but again, it seems amateurish compared to previous action scenes in this franchise. I wasn't wowed as much as other people were. Sophie Turner as Jean Grey, I think she held her own. I think she did a fine job. She was basically the lead in this film. I thought it was interesting that James McAvoy's Xavier, he is now in his ego. They really try to explore in these younger versions of Xavier in these past movies how the ego gets the best of him, from drug addiction now to success. It's very interesting. Magneto, it's basically the same thread line as the last film. They really, as much as Fassbender gives it 110%, they don't know what to do with him. And Ty Sheridan as Cyclops, I think that Ty Sheridan fits the role perfectly, but they really don't know what to do. And one of the worst things about this franchise is that they don't ever really touch on the romance between Jean and Cyclops. It's such a missed opportunity. Especially, this could have been the moment to do it, but they don't. And then there's Jessica Chastain and her storyline about an alien race trying to basically take over the powers from Jean. That literally could have just been cut out of the editing room floor completely. Jessica Chastain got the easiest paycheck in her career, in my opinion. She just walks around and just talks with literally no type of emotion at all. She just has to stand there with a blank look on her face as she basically spouts exposition. And she's in the movie for quite a bit. What a waste of time. And this whole alien race trying to take over the power so they can take over the world. And it literally is an afterthought. Nobody, this is the first time the X-Men come across aliens and nobody's thinking, holy shit, there's life outside this planet. It's a movie about mutants. Whatever. Is it as terrible as they say? I actually think it's neck and neck with The Last Stand. And X-Men Origins Wolverine stands as the worst X-Men movie in the whole franchise. So, up to you to decipher that. Is it mildly enjoyable? I don't think that people will hate themselves for watching it. I think that they'll just go, yeah, right? Yeah. But there's no passion, there's no sense of epic scale. For the last one in the franchise, there's no sense of conclusion. It leaves it open-ended, in case maybe by some miracle the movie becomes a grand success, I hope. I don't know. But it really is nothing to run home about. It's a very, very disappointing film. It literally is about the X-Men franchise going out in a whimper, not a bang. I'm going to have to give this film 2 out of 5 stars. Well, once again, guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you see here, click like at the bottom. Did you like the movie? Did you not like the movie? Let me know. We got more reviews coming your way. This is Ray from LiveWire. Once again, thanks for watching.